Greetings, friends. This is Josh.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is the Dead Tired Dads podcast. Welcome.
A podcast for gamers who don't have time to game.
Wasn't sure if you were going to finish it or if you were expecting
If
me
I was
to.
looking at you for you to finish it.
I was like, I wasn't sure. What's going on? What are we going to do? How are we going to do it this time?
There you go.
I feel like when we tried to do it previously, where it was like together, it ended up coming off really awkward.
It wasn't like synced up very well.
So I think we'll just kind of surprise you every time with like how we're gonna do that.
Just changes every time.
Oh, how's your week, Ryan?
It's been a little crazy. Working weird hours and strange. I haven't had a consistent schedule, but that's okay. It's evening out.
That keeps you as a dead tired dad.
It does keep me as a dead tired dad.
So,
that is true.
Yeah.
And I actually did something this week that I haven't done in a while. I finished a video game.
You finished a game.
I finished a game.
How is that possible?
I don't know. It was this weird feeling. Like the credits rolled and I didn't know what was happening. I wasn't sure what was going on.
So when I play games, one thing that actually keeps me from finishing games is like some games I like too much.
You don't want to finish them?
I don't want to finish them. And so, like, there are some games that I've gotten, like, to the last little bit of, and I just quit. I just stop playing because it's like, I'm not ready to beat this yet.
I get it. That's fair.
The sick thing about that, though, is, like, I don't want to beat the game because I don't want to quit playing it, but I quit playing it so that I don't beat the game.
But think about this in any other, like, hobby or fun thing that you do. Would you do that with a book or a movie? Would you just, like, stop with 10 pages left because you don't want to finish the book?
Yeah, no, I don't guess so. But it's still like... But there's something different about... I mean, I guess I've probably done that with books, though.
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
There's actually a book... there's a book that I was reading at one point called Start. About... It's a book about like getting started with something new.
Oh yeah.
And like basically like kind of the path to take to do that, and just kind of like, hey, if you want to start something, you should just kind of start and just get going with it, and like don't make excuses for it. Kind of like starting a podcast. But so the first time I tried to read through that book, I did get to the last chapter.
And then you stopped.
And I stopped reading it.
You specifically did not do what the book said to do, which was to start.
Well, no, I did start. I started.
The book technically doesn't say start and finish.
But the author actually did write a book later called Finish.
Oh, of course. Of course.
So there's that. That was a weird laugh.
Start, finish. Man, that's the low-hanging fruit, right? Like, you write a book called Start, write one called Finish. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, that's, it's good stuff. So yeah, I think that books are good, and you should finish the books that you read. That's important.
But you should also finish.
But you should also finish video games that you play. That is also a good thing to do.
Yeah. So that was my week. I actually finished a video game. How about you, Josh?
My daughter has loose teeth.
Yes.
Which is kind of gross. Like,
I understand where you're coming from.
It's really a weird, like, she's like hands constantly in her mouth, being like. And it's not just like one, it's like 4 teeth that she's, like all 4 of her front teeth are loose at the same time, and she's like constantly got her hands in her mouth. It's going, and it's just like, stop, get your hands out of your mouth, please stop. I don't need to see your teeth moving. I don't need to see it. Thank you.
Well, I'm just like a few days ahead of you. My son is missing 4 teeth. Right now, he's actually missing 4 teeth. So I'm just, like, literally a few days ahead of you. So yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's just weird. I don't know. So yeah, I think, other than that, I'm trying to think of anything interesting that's happened this week. Nothing, really.
Nothing.
I work, I play with my kids, I come home, like, I go to bed, like, that's,
Yeah.
You know, I play video games when I can.
It was a normal week then.
Yeah, pretty much. So, anyway, why don't we get into our reviews?
All right. Should I go first or should you?
Lemon.
Lemon.
I don't know. Just a word that popped into my head.
First word that came to your mind.
Why don't you go first?
All right. Well, I finished a game this week, so I should probably talk about
what game
that.
did you finish this week, Ryan?
I finished a game called Fire Emblem 3 Houses. It was really, really good. The gist of it is, so I played it on Nintendo Switch. It is, I believe, I'm almost certain, exclusive to Switch.
Okay.
I believe it is. Anyway.
Yes, Fire Emblem would be, yes.
The gist of it is, I don't want to give too much away because it's still a relatively new game. But the gist of it is you are a professor at a monastery. You can choose from one of the 3 houses to you become the leader of that house, and you train them in this monastery. Sort of trains people how to be knights and soldiers. And yeah, so I finished it. Very interesting game. Really good storyline. I enjoyed it a lot. But there were some things that... it's a conundrum for me. I don't know how I'll be able to... I haven't really thought like what my final recommendation will be.
Okay.
So in a few minutes, I don't know what I'm going to say.
Fair enough.
But on the one hand, it was really, really good. Great story, engaging story, which, as I mentioned in our first episode, what I look for in a game is a really good story.
Story is important.
So it has a great story. It's a really long game. I can't remember if we were texting about it. I can't remember if I told you or not. But when I finally finished, I was around 60 hours of playtime. And I was nowhere near like a completionist playthrough. Like, I went and looked, and some people put 80 or 90 hours into this game on one playthrough.
Okay.
So it's a really long game, and I don't know that really lends itself to what we often talk about, which is if you're a busy dad or a busy mom with just a little bit of time, I don't know that it lends itself to that. The flip side of it is, with the Switch, you can take it with you on the go. Right. So you take that to work, play on your lunch break. I don't know, maybe that's some extra time you don't normally get.
Sure.
So there's that. There is a lot of time spent on the game where you're just at the monastery, at the school. And so you're not really in combat, if you know what I mean. But you do, when you are in combat, you do have to pay attention. So I noticed a couple times, like, kids running around in the background. I lost the battle because I was distracted.
Sure.
But yeah, from a family-friendly perspective, there's like knights fighting, but there's no gore. There's no blood or anything like that. So it's not scary. I think it was rated teen, so not too bad. The violence, whatever violence there is kind of cartoonish, so it's not bad. No adult stuff, if you will, no sex or anything like that. A couple of the women are unnecessarily scantily clad, which I always laugh about. So as a gamer, right, we all know that if you, particularly with RPGs, you ever notice how the male knights, like, their armor is massive, and it's huge, and their shoulder pads are like 2 feet tall.
Yes, and they've always got like some kind of spike.
Exactly.
Something.
But if you put the same quote shoulder pads on a female, you can barely see them on the screen. And it's just, what is that protecting? Nothing. But I digress. So anyway, I really enjoyed the game. It has a great monetary value because there's at least 4 endings that you can see. So you would need to see them all, you'd play through it 4 times. So it has a really high replay value.
Sure, but that's also 240
hours. Exactly. It goes back to the 60 hours that we talked about, which is a long time. I actually, as soon as I finished the game, I immediately restarted it because it was that good. But that only lasted for about an hour. I haven't touched it since.
Gotcha.
Because the thought of doing that 60 hours 3 more times is I'm just not going to do that. I know myself.
Right.
I'm not going to do that.
No, anytime you have a game like that where there's a large time commitment, it is hard to, especially if it's like not just a time commitment to play through the game, but like you have to like it's a time commitment to like play through chunks of the game. Like you can't play for 30 minutes, and like that's always a challenge, especially with if you're only able to play late at night or whenever.
Yeah.
But can I just back up a little bit? You mentioned
of course.
You started talking about the Switch, and it got me thinking. Like,
yes,
if you are a parent that likes gaming, like I feel like the Switch is like by far like I'm just gonna do a plug for Nintendo.
Yes.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
We're not even getting paid to plug it either.
But like the Nintendo Switch is like the console for you.
You have to own one. You have to if you're like a busy parent, right?
Yeah,
it's a must. It's a must.
I didn't realize it until like I got a Switch.
Yeah,
like that I was like, oh my gosh, this is great because I can play like my kids can be watching whatever they're watching on TV right now. It's Ninja Turtles, which I'm very proud of. Let me say that as well. I'm very proud of my children. Or my daughter. My son doesn't care right now, but my daughter, I'm very proud of for how much she loves Ninja Turtles. But like she can be watching that. I can be playing.
Yes. Oh man.
Breath of the Wild.
Yes. It's amazing.
Yeah, and also it's a great introductory console for kids. At least for my kids, it's been a great like.
My son loves to play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
On ours.
My daughter just started playing Yoshi's Crafted World on there, which is just not something that I'm going to cover in this podcast, I don't think. But it is a delightful game, just as far as just fun is concerned. So bonus little plug there. For
Freebie. Freebie.
So anyway, that is my Nintendo plug. Shameless plug.
I entirely agree. Actually. Just before I came over here, my wife and I were talking about how if you're if you're what we talk about in this show, which is a busy gamer parent, dad or mom, we're saying this exact thing. You have to have a Switch. It's amazing. I do the same thing you just said. My kids will be watching TV. I just play the Switch on handheld mode. Yeah. Boom. Or as we've talked about in the past, I travel a ton for work. I'm constantly traveling. So I don't have to stop the game I'm playing while I'm gone for a week or 2 weeks at a conference. I just take my Switch with me.
Right.
And so that's the only way I was able to finish Breath of the Wild is I didn't have to keep restarting because I just took it with me. So,
but you did keep restarting that game.
I did keep restarting. Anyway, the third time was a charm.
I still haven't beaten Breath of the Wild, but I'm basically there. I've got the.
But you just admitted that you don't want to finish games.
Yeah, it's true. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. But I'm working on the DLC now before I go beat Ganon. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Way off topic. That's okay.
That's okay. It's what we do.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Buy a Switch if you're a busy parent who's a gamer.
Final recommendation on Fire
Emblem. I told you I don't know what to say.
I was giving you. I was buying.
You bought me time. I was buying you really did, and I still didn't get there. Okay, so here's what I'll say. If you are exactly what we're describing, a busy parent who doesn't get much gaming time, I would probably have to say no. Just because, if the only reason, truly the only reason, is the amount of time that the game takes.
So, if you're a busy parent, but you're willing to invest some time, outside your normal gaming time, it might be worth it.
Yeah, if you have the time, go for it.
Yeah.
For me, the reason I was able to is when I started playing, my wife and I were like I just mentioned, we were at a conference together for 4 days. Other than during the daytime when we were attending sessions, I had the evening to play.
Right. And that works out.
So I had that extra time that I wouldn't normally have had.
Awesome.
And I know we have a couple listeners who are not yet dead tired dads, and so I do think they would really enjoy the game because they have the time.
So there you go.
Or just if you have the time. It's a great game, high replay value, really good story. It's just the time. The
Yeah.
time is the
Time
only
is-
limiting factor.
And time can be, when you're a parent, time is essential. So, awesome. Well,
All right. I made it.
good job.
It's your turn.
My turn. Well, I have a game that I started playing last year that I absolutely love.
Ooh.
And it's a game called Satisfactory.
Mm-hmm.
And it is as far as I know, it's a PC exclusive. You can get it on Steam.
That was going to be my question.
So if you've got a PlayStation, if you've got a PC, where's my head? If you've got a PC and you're a PC gamer, Satisfactory. So Satisfactory is basically a factory building game. So you are a lone. You can play it multiplayer, which is fun, but you are on a desert planet, not necessarily desert, but deserted planet. So there's no other sentient life. There are animals and things like that that'll attack you and stuff like that. But you basically have nothing to start off with. You have to go and set up mining equipment and collect resources and build things. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of exploration factor, which is something that I really appreciate in games. I like exploring things. I like open worlds. So it's one of the reasons that I love Zelda games and Assassin's Creed, the early Assassin's Creeds anyway, because of the exploration factor. And so there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of really fun things that you can do to get yourself into trouble. Yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff and very, very much an exciting game. There's not really any story.
Okay, that was going to be my
they're
question.
a little bit like you're working for this. Your person is working for a company that put you there, and so basically all that you're doing is gathering and making stuff to send to them. So there's this element of this is a shady.
Okay, I
shady
have, I have
corporation.
questions.
You have questions.
I have questions.
Okay.
So this corporation, did they intentionally abandon you on this planet, or did you go knowing that you were going to be the only one there?
I assume that you go knowing that.
Okay.
It's not really explored, but like I said, you can play it with other people and other people.
Yeah.
If you're playing, you can have a server where other people can join you.
Right. Okay.
It's kind of like a Minecraft-y type thing, but it's more realistic looking. And you craft weapons and things like that. There's as you kind of explore, you find other places that are radioactive, and so you have to build. You have to level up to the point where you can start taking that resource and utilizing it to power your stuff, and you have to have certain power requirements to make certain things, and certain things it's all the entire thing is resource gathering and building and crafting.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to me. I just had a lot of fun playing it. So that's kind of the overview of it. As far as family friendliness, it's pretty much harmless. There's nothing it might be there's some animals that'll attack you. There are points where I got scared playing because I went exploring in a cave and I found some spiders and they were terrifying, and I hate spiders. So
yeah, that'll do it.
And so then you're in the cave and you're trying to run away from them, but anyway, just don't worry about the spiders. But anyway, but basically family friendly. It might be there's not really a whole lot happening, so it might be kind of dull. So you don't count on your kids being enthralled with it
not
some
watching
games.
you enjoying it.
The replay value is pretty high, I would say. It's the biggest thing is once you if you get out of it and quit playing it, it's hard to get back into it because it you have to kind of either pick up where you left off and you have to figure out what you were doing, or you start a whole new map. Yeah. In which case you're starting over from scratch, which is also kind of frustrating.
That's tough to do.
So
it's a tough pill to swallow.
So yeah, but when I first got the game, I play. You know, it was, I think it's about $30, or at the time it was about $30 on Steam, and I'm pretty sure I played every single night, and I was up late to like 1 o'clock in the morning for like
no, Josh.
every single
bad.
You know, and when I got home from work, like I would try to get in like 15 to 20 minutes just playing it before my wife got home with the kids. So like there is a pool for me anyway. There was this real strong pull to like kind of keep playing it. Like I wanted to keep playing and to keep building and to figure things out.
Yeah.
Over time, it did get a little tedious. But like I said at the beginning, I absolutely love the game. But what I will say is I really don't think I could recommend it. I think it's a great game. Hats off to the developers and, you know, everything that they're doing. They've released an update since the last time I played, and I'd really like to get into it and you know, get beyond where I've gotten. But like I said, it's like once you quit playing it for a little bit of time, it's so hard to go back into it. So
I'm curious about something.
Yeah.
Because I saw you play the game one time. Mm-hmm. You showed it to me when I came over. At the time, I didn't have this frame of reference because I hadn't played yet. But I've since played No Man's Sky. Mm-hmm. I get the impression that they're very similar. Is that a fair assessment?
I haven't actually seen a lot from No Man's Sky, but from what I know of No Man's Sky, I would say yes.
All right.
I think No Man's Sky is more multiplayer friend. Like, I think, again, I haven't looked up. What I've seen of No Man's Sky really intrigues me, and I'd like to play it, but I don't know that I could say yes. It's the same thing.
All right, that's fair.
So anyway, that's kind of my review on Satisfactory, and so if you've got some, you know, if you want to spend $30 on a game that you're going to get sucked into for about 3 to 4 months,
go for it.
Yeah. But if you don't want that, or that you have, I don't want to say that you will, but that you have the potential of being sucked into for 3 to 4 months.
Right.
Because that's what happened to me.
Why? By the way, maybe it's just me, but it seems like all the crafting games are sort of like that. I haven't played it in a long time, but when I played Minecraft, it was very similar. It was like I had zero interest in it whatsoever. Someone got me into the game, and I was just immediately sucked into it, and I wanted to play. And then once I got out of playing it regularly, it was kind of the same as what you were saying. Like it's too hard to go back to.
I think there's probably this level, like the same reason they started adding achievements and trophies into things. Like there's this accomplishment thing.
Yeah.
That like
it's like getting the next thing done. Yeah.
Like and so like it's kind of like a big ball of yarn that just kind of like just kind of starts rolling, and it just kind of picks stuff up as it goes, and as you're progressing, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually you're like, this is too big. I can't manage this anymore, so I'm gonna take a break for a little bit, and then like when you come back, the ball has started to unwind. Like a cat found the ball.
Someone else came along.
I don't know.
Started messing with the ball.
My analogy fell apart.
I liked it. Strong.
Yeah, that's good. I think this has been a fun episode.
It has been a fun episode.
And
we both did games where we mostly said no, but kind of said maybe if you have special circumstances.
Look, these are good games.
That's the difficulty that I'm having. With a lot of these games.
These are good games.
They're good, and I want to recommend them, but I can't always for our specific audience.
Yeah, if you're too busy, don't get it. I mean, it's not going to be worth your money. Because you're not going to have time to play it. So yeah, that's this episode of Dead Tired Dads. Thank you.
All right.
We'll see you on the next episode.
See you next time.